probably won't for like a good year.
Call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Merritt?
Here.
Mrs. Chapman?
Here.
Mr. DeVore?
Here.
Mrs. Philippa?
Here.
Mrs. Hagenrader?
Here.
Mr. Irwin?
Here.
Dr. Pickering?
Here.
Mr. Rose?
Here.
Mrs. Silvas?
Here.
Please stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need to give notice of the executive session of March 18, 2024 for personnel potential litigation from 7:36 p.m. to 7:48 p.m. Public comments regarding the agenda for tonight. Looks like just Mike Crowley. Is anyone that signed up?
I did sign up.
Oh, you have the dot.
Yeah, no, I did sign up.
Oh, just me? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to do it now?
Yep.
I thought I was going with, sorry. The reason I wanted to speak tonight is because last week was Sunshine Week, and I was going to speak last week, but there are a couple other people signed up, so I'm here to wait till this week. Sunshine Week is a thing that the Pennsylvania News Media Association does. That's the statewide association for journalists. And we do it to promote transparency in government, and I want to kind of applaud you guys for your dedication to transparency and keeping things open and accessible. And I want to draw attention to one thing in particular, which I go to a lot of these meetings, and this is always an issue for me. It's not an issue for anybody else, but it is a law, so I'm going to mention it. And that has to do with executive sessions. And with executive sessions, the rules are, according to Supreme Court, Pennsylvania Supreme Court precedents, that you have to actually tell the public what the executive sessions are about.
Amen.
You don't have to say anything, like if it involves student discipline or something. Obviously, there's a right to privacy there. You don't have to say anybody's name or really give us any details about that. But when it comes to other stuff, the Commonwealth Court, sorry, I think I said Supreme Court. It's actually a Commonwealth Court ruling says that you have to say something that's real and tangible and that means something. You can't say real estate. And that's, I think, is their specific example, because real estate could be anything. But you have to instead explain, well, we're going to talk about selling some property that we own, and we're going to do it because of X, Y, and Z. You can give as much detail as you want, really. The Sunshine Law doesn't say you have to keep things secret. It says you can, if you have to, right? But we live in a time when people don't trust government, and even on the local level, you should really do whatever you can to convince a skeptical electorate that you're not keeping things secret, or if you are, you're doing it for a good reason, to protect their money. When I go to meetings like this and I hear that there are going to be executive sessions on personnel, real estate, and litigation, that's kind of the trifecta, three things that don't mean anything. Sometimes there's a fancy lawyer there who says the same thing, but in a much longer sentence. It still doesn't mean anything. And again, the rule is you're supposed to say something that the public can understand and that means something to them. So this is I used to do this every year, but then we had a pandemic, so I've been a little bit scarce the past couple of years, but this is my hopefully annual reminder that you should say something that means something when you're telling people what goes on behind closed doors. Thanks.
Uh, 2023 student representatives to the board: Crawford Junior and Senior High School, Libby Bolton and Nathan Hine.
Hello, it's nice to see you all again. Just in time before spring break starts, we have had a bunch of things happening with the spring sports and in our school.
Starting with sports, our baseball team lost their scrimmage against Meadville on March 13th with a final score of 2-5. They have, as we speak, a game against Eisenhower, and they also have the game this Wednesday against Youngsville.
The softball game against Reynolds on the 21st was postponed to a later date due to the weather. Tonight they are playing Meadville at home, and our softball team's next game is April 2nd against Rocky Grove.
Our boys volleyball team lost to Meadville on March 21st, losing in 3 sets. They have an upcoming game against Sagertown on April 4th.
Some school events that have happened is our National Honor Society is hosting a blood drive on Friday, April 12th. The blood drive is open to the general public, and the students are encouraged to recruit people to donate.
Business leaders from across Crawford County came to our school on the 21st to have a mock interviews with the senior classmen. This gave us the chance to experience what a real job interview will be like in the future.
The seniors have organized a senior sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:30. They will be gathering before school to make breakfast on the last day before Easter break.
Earlier this month, the senior and junior classes left the 2nd to go to New York City on a bus tour involving seeing a lot of the sights in New York City.
Last weekend, our marching band had their annual time together at the end of the season, and they told us what the show is going to be next year, and it's called Etched in Stone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Meadville Area Senior High School, I'm not sure who's here, Lillian Hill, Cindy Holt, and Sophia Shaw.
Good afternoon. We hope everyone has had a great month so far. Many of our spring sports have started, so we're excited to share some new updates.
The boys lacrosse team has had a rough start to their season with a loss against Wheeling Park. Their next game is scheduled for April 5th against West Giega at home.
The girls lacrosse team has started practices, and their first game is scheduled for April 5th against Cache.
The softball team has their first game tonight at Cochranton.
The baseball team has started practices, and their first game is scheduled for tonight at Cache.
The boys volleyball team has had their first tournament last Saturday, where they lost to Shaler in the championship round. Their next game is scheduled for tomorrow away at Sagertown.
The tennis team will have their first match on April 3rd against Prep at home.
The track season has just started, and the team's first meet will be away at Oil City on April 9th.
Both Key Club and the National Honor Society are collecting volunteers for the Special Olympics event in May.
At Key Club's last meeting, they had a guest speaker and began putting together care packages for the troops.
The National Honor Society induction ceremony was held on March 14th and was open for the parents of the new inductees to come and watch. Current members ran the ceremony as well as served drinks and cookies.
We just recently took club photos as well as cap and gown photos. Yearbook sales for the year are going smoothly.
Prom is scheduled for Saturday, May 11th from 8 to 11 at the Oaks Event Hall. Junior Council organized the dance, and the theme will be Into the Night.
That's all we have prepared for today. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you all next month.
Okay, thank you. There's nobody here for the middle school. Okay. Approval of the minutes, result that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the following minutes: the regular board meeting of February 26, 2024, and the committee of the whole meeting of March 18, 2024. Is there a motion? Second. Ryan? And Ryan and Ron. Lisa, did you get?
I did, thank you.
Any discussion or questions? If not, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carried. Curriculum, Tammy.
Approval of the second and final reading of Schedule J, textbook adoption for French, 6th edition. Resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the second and final reading of Schedule J, textbook adoption, French, 6th edition. Attachment 3. I hereby move.
Second. Ed. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
Resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the second and final reading of the following curriculum: Multimedia 1 and Multimedia 2 for Crawfordton Junior Senior High School, Attachment 4, Caring Closet with Community Outreach, Meadville Area Senior High School, Attachment 5, Health 7, Meadville Area Middle School, Attachment 6. I hereby move.
Second.
Monica, second. Any discussion or questions? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
Approval of the dual enrollment agreement with Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. Resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the dual enrollment agreement with Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. Attachment 7. I hereby move, sorry.
Second.
Is that Holly?
Mm-hmm.
Any discussion or questions? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Extracurricular, Holly.
Approval of the following PMEA events. Be it resolved that the Board of School Directors, Crawford Central School District hereby approves the following overnight field trips. All-State Band and Chorus, Cochrane Junior and Senior High School, April 17th through the 20th. Cost to the district in the amount of $3,418.33. Please see attachment 8. All-State Band, Chorus, and Orchestra, Meadville Area Senior High School, April 17th through the 20th, 2024. Cost to the district in the amount of $4,347.80. Please see attachment 9, and I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Aye. Any discussion or questions? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
Nay.
Want to do a roll call?
Sure. Mr. Merritt?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. DeVore?
Yes.
Mrs. Philippa?
Yes.
Mrs. Hargenreiter?
No.
Mr. Irwin?
No.
Dr. Pickering?
Yes.
Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Mrs. Silvas?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-2. Finance, Jeff.
Resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the following financial activities: the Treasurer's Report for February, financial statements, and the payment of bills, and I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Monica? Any questions, discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
Resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the 2024-25 Northwest Tri-County Intermediate Unit budget in a total amount of $70,091,220. The Board further approves the total member district's contributions to the General Operating Fund and School Improvement Services Fund budgets of the Intermediate Unit for the 2024-25 fiscal year for $1,765,808 with the individual member district contributions as determined by the Pennsylvania Department of Education, and I so move.
Second. Ron, second. Any questions, discussions? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
Resolved that school tax collectors of the respective municipalities listed below made a full and proper settlement in accordance with the law of the taxes levied by the Crawford Central School District for the fiscal year 2023-24 to be collected by him or her by paying over all taxes collected, by returning all unpaid taxes upon real property to the Crawford County Tax Claim Bureau and other appropriate authorities, and having received various exonerations and credits, the Crawford Central School District does hereby exonerate said tax collectors for all unpaid taxes for the tax year 2023, and his or her action in returning appropriate taxes to the appropriate authorities by approved subject to audit. This exoneration is contingent upon final approvals of the auditor, solicitor, and business manager for the Crawford Central School District, and I so move.
Second.
Second, Sue. Ed? Questions or discussion? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Personnel, Jan.
Be it resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves Kenneth N. Wolford as the Director of K through 12 Curriculum with all benefits associated with the Act 93 agreement, and Step 3 with a salary of $128,544 effective for a date to be determined, and I so move with a very big welcome.
Second.
Jeff. Discussion or questions? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
Be it resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the following personnel schedules: A, B, C, D, E, H, I, and M, and I so move.
Second.
Ed? Any questions or discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Administration.
Okay, just to echo Jan, we're very excited that Ken is going to come on board. We're looking forward to him joining our Crawford Central administrative family. Next,
Does the board know that's him?
I'm sorry. So, Ken's a familiar face in the area, and he's been with us before, and we're really looking forward to it. So. Next, I would like to send a huge thanks to our facilitators for the fourth graders as scientists program. It's been operating for at least 10 years now. We've been providing science-based activities for our fourth graders. They go to Allegheny College. They do a walking tour of the campus, and then they do many hands-on activities. So I'm really thanking Dr. Ann Noonan from Crawford Central, Dr. Lisa Whiteneck, Dr. Jennifer Houts, Wendy Kodzerski, and John Gregorzeski from Allegheny College, and Eileen Mullen from the Crawford County Career Education Alliance. We also had 3 Allegheny College students, Caitlin Royal, Ethan Borsch, and Ellie Carpenter, who also devoted a lot of time to making this work. Next, our Class Act Emerging Leader for the month is Neppy Luce from Meadville Area Senior High School. And I would just like to mention that the April committee meeting is April 15th, which is a Monday. So there was just a typo on the thing, the schedule that was out, but it was approved as the 15th. And we need to have a short 5-minute executive session after the board meeting for personnel.
Other public board comments?
The NTMA is putting on the Robobots competition at MASH on April 6th. I believe it starts at 10 a.m. and it's free to the public. So I didn't see that on there, and I didn't hear the kids talk about that, so.
Last month. It's very, very cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is a great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go once, you'll be hooked.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment. I will try not to be too lengthy, I just feel called to do this. So as we move forward regarding the feasibility study and board decisions regarding the upcoming budget, short and long term, I just feel I just need to state my position as one board member. Just as a reminder, there's 10 of us and only 9 that vote. So over the last 10 years, I've always voted my conscience as what I believe to be the best for Crawford Central School District, and I will continue to do so. Further, whenever a vote has been taken, whether I agreed or disagreed, I stood behind the final decision, as I will continue to do so moving forward. However, with that said, every board member is responsible to share what they know to be true with their best intent. I'm not here to twist or sway information, and when I share information, it is with the intent to do just that. Share what facts I understand to be true, and to have a good discussion that leads to good decision making. If my facts are inaccurate, I will stand corrected. For if they are not accurate or need to be looked at in a different manner, I want them to be corrected and see things from a perspective other than mine. It is that type of discussion that is needed to make difficult conversations and decisions the best they can be. So with that said, I will try and keep it brief once again, that there are a few clarifications of information I would like to make. The current feasibility study did not just provide us with information regarding building maintenance and repair issues. It gave us information very pertinent to the regarding enrollment and what capacity our buildings are being utilized. FTE capacity is the number of learners that can be reasonably accommodated by a school building. Although I understand and know there are variables, physical, operation, and programmatic variables, that those numbers don't always tell, but that was also pretty well included in the feasibility study. We have a district-wide 18% decrease in enrollment with projections via PDE of another 25% decrease over the next decade. I stand by the statement that not looking and discussing how we can maximize the use of our building is negligent planning. I am not promoting any one solution in any way, shape, or form, but the discussion should be had. We have buildings in both attendance areas that are not being utilized to the fullest capacity. Cochranton Junior Senior High School is at 48% capacity. MASH MAMS is at 56% capacity. Cochranton Elementary is at 56%. Neeson Hill, 73. West End, 60. First District, 64. And Second District, 74%. And generally, when you're looking at that, as a rule of thumb, use a 10% margin for operating capacity to allow for program flexibility. So we have a lot of wiggle room to look how we can maximize our buildings. It is no secret that the communities in both attendance areas have faced and are facing distinct changes in their tax base and ability to generate revenue. We cannot ignore that either. This is about having difficult conversations that gather information to make the best decisions we can for Crawford Central School District, our taxpayers, our parents, our students, all constituents involved. Currently, there are some inequities, especially at the high school level. I do not believe they're intentional to give any school, community, or students any advantage over one another. It just exists because of numbers, low enrollment, and low building usage. However, we need to be aware of them and consider that when we're trying to maintain equability for our students, both fiscally and programmatically. Ron Irwin last week asked me why I was only looking at football and not the whole extracurricular arena, and I got it. I was focusing on football because that's what we were talking about. But it was a great question, one I took up on and looked at. So yes, there are several sports opportunities afforded at MASH and MAMS that are not offered at Cochranton. Hockey and lacrosse are considered MASH sports but not paid for by the school district. And once again, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we're looking at sports like swimming, golf, tennis, that are not offered at Cochranton, I think we have cooperative agreements that afford those students opportunities to participate. And I did look at the expenditure. When I look from the expenditure list that was given to me by Mr. Austin, Cochranton Junior Senior High School has a budget for their whole sports programming of $378,770, and there's 343 students. That gives an allocation of $1,104 per student, whether they participate or not. Did the same for MASH MAMS at $566,761 for their total programming for sports at 1,092 students. That's $519 allocated per student, whether they participate or not. So I'm not pointing this out to show I don't want to make division. What I want to do is say that we need to look at an opportunity and have a discussion so that our taxpayers' monies are being utilized to maximize opportunities for all students equitably across the district. And although expenditures are mostly equitable at the elementary level, we're still not maximizing our buildings across the district at the elementary level. So we need to be fiscally prudent and wise. At the high school level, if we look at the cost per pupil, it is $15,604 per student at Cochranton, $12,840 per student at MASH and MAMS. Further again, there's disparity regarding teacher-pupil ratios. When we're looking at teacher-pupil ratios, we're not looking at class size, we're looking at the resources afforded to the teachers within the district. So when I looked at what Dr. Gallon gave me, at Cochranton Junior Senior High School, we have a teacher-pupil ratio of 1 to 13. Again, that's not class size, that's teacher-pupil ratio. And at MASH MAMS, we have 1 to 17. And according to the National Center for Educational Statistics, it's 1 to 15. Once again, we just need to look at this information. There's lots of numbers, there's lots of data. I am not proposing any solutions. I'm proposing that we as a board look at all the information as we approach the feasibility study to help support our decision-making sound solutions. It's not going to happen overnight. It will take a lot of discussion with more and more questions and more research. I know Dr. Gowden is ready to propose a plan on how we approach the feasibility study next month. I just wanted to clarify my position regarding information and decision-making. And I believe right now we have an opportunity to analyze information that will afford us opportunities not to cut programs, not to increase taxes, but to repurpose our spending to maximize the use of the tax dollars that we do collect. I think we need to be proactive and not reactionary, and long-term and not short-term. And that's all I have to say, and thank you for listening.
Any other comments?
I'm a little bit of a disadvantage because I did not take and go through those numbers. One of the things I can say is I did go through that feasibility study. I think everybody on this board can attest to this, that I submitted several pages of questions on the feasibility study as for its accuracy. And so until we actually are able to go through the entire feasibility study and look at the accuracy of it, I don't think we can take it at its face value that everything in it's accurate, because some of the things that was listed in there, they blamed it on a formatting issue. Meanwhile, some of the equipment they said needed replaced in the schools didn't even exist in the schools. So with that said, I'm not even going to trust their numbers until we could go through and confirm them. You did mention about some of the programs, and again, we don't have all the data in. We're still trying to gather data. This is a fairly new board. One of the things I'm being told is any leftover money from the swimming program is donated to the hockey to help support that. Again, I don't have facts on that. This is hearsay. People are coming to us with information. Great, for us to be able to go through and look at it. We are looking at every revenue stream, where it's coming in, where it's going out, and 100% agree that we need to know exactly where all the money is being spent and if we are getting the right bang for our buck, so to speak. So, that, I'm done.
Any other comments?
I just have one quick one. In the paper today, did the math on the football players. I think you mentioned 24 players at Cochrane, and there's actually 42 from 7 to 12 in Cochrane, not 24. So it changes the math a little bit, but we're spending more money down there. There's fixed costs, there's overhead, there's going to be in any program that you do. And of course, Ron mentioned the hockey when he mentioned the extra programs up here and being new to the board. I think that's when I learned when I got on the board that the Bulldog hockey team wasn't actually a Meadville High School hockey team. So, but there is, golf, swimming, soccer, track and field, and tennis. And I think girls and boys in both. So, up here as opposed to Cochrane. So there are a few more programs and things, but that's neither here nor there. We need to, I think we need to keep all the programs going for the kids is what we need to do. I'm not advocating cutting anything, so just wanted to clear that up.
Any other comments? You've already announced the executive session for personnel. A motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Holly? Lonnie, could I have a second? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carried at